humans, machines, and gods.
Which came first?
Well, good point. Especially now that machines have their own perspective.
Well, we're in a simulation.
Well, there's so much to cover. So much to cover.
Is the universe a machine? Is God a machine?
All of this to come.
Okay.
So, yeah, caffeinate and buckle up. If you're still with us, let's go. Each of them's got perspectives on the other, right?
Yeah.
So you can look from the man perspective, and you can define both machines and gods. You can look from the god's perspective and define man and machines.
Yeah.
And now, interestingly, we've got the machine's perspective for the first time, where with the progression of AI and the worry about general intelligence, that they can have their own perspective on what man and God might be. But why don't we start with a bit of general definitions, at least from the human's perspective. So from the human's perspective, I'm going to put it forward that a machine is anything that makes things easier and it reduces discomfort. By making any process easier.
Are all machines made by humans?
I will say yes on this for the purposes of this discussion.
Yeah.
Would you want to bring in any others?
I mean, they all loop on themselves. I mean, the universe could be a type of machine.
Yeah.
But for this, let's go with machines are generally created by humans.
I mean, we could look at the entire water cycle and nitrogen cycle and all of plant reproduction as machinery. So, but for the purposes of this, from the human's perspective, the machines are human creations to reduce discomfort.
Yes.
Now, depending on what type of human you are, you could also argue the same about gods. From a very atheist or nihilistic perspective, you could make the case that gods are a creation of humans to reduce discomfort.
Yeah, that's okay. That's just one way of looking at
Just
God
one way.
gods.
I'm not saying that's mine, but it is a way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Another way is to look at God or gods, whichever way you want to take that, as being the greater, as being the behind the scenes, if you like, the entirety, the oneness, the much bigger behind the observer.
Well, I see maybe God or gods as if they were to create humans, the humans then created the machines, but that would be because of the gods. There was something in the humans that looked for technology. But I'd probably sort of see God or gods as just everything that's happened in the past before humans and everything all the way back to the Big Bang, if that's what happened. It's
There's a whole lot.
A whole lot.
The whole lot of all.
Maybe
on.
or maybe like a laws of physics that we don't understand.
Yeah.
But everything really.
Put it all in the same. I'm with you on that.
But we humans are an expression of something.
Yeah.
Whether it's luck or chance or
which are important forces.
Yeah.
I don't think that this idea of we can't have just come about because of chance, luck, evolution, and the kind of way statistics interplays is not a small thing.
No, especially if the universe is infinite. It had to happen. I think.
Yeah. with true infinity.
Yeah, everything had to happen.
Everything had to happen, but statistically you might be able to have. Told you to buckle up for this one. And that's something, it does take a bit of time to really sit with the concept of infinity in this context.
Yeah.
I remember certainly when I first started to really chew on it, it did make me really nauseous. And like it did from a religious perspective, whether you do believe in an afterlife or not, that's still infinite. That still goes on forever. If you believe in a heaven and a hell, it's still forever. Yeah. And if you don't, per se, there is still an argument of infinite thermodynamics going on, where energy is not created or destroyed, but carries on from one form to another.
Yes.
Universes are constantly expanding and collapsing, expanding and collapsing. And that's also kind of a reference to very older religious and spiritual perceptions, especially from South Asia, from India, where Vishnu's waking and sleeping is the universe expanding and collapsing in an infinite sea of possibility. So these ideas all kind of interplay a bit,
Yeah.
but within them, we are all, maybe, like you said, being creators at different times.
Yeah. Well, I like the hermetic principle of as above, so below. So it's almost like a fractal universe. So humans create machines, but God creates humans or something. Or if that is the case, but the way that the universe plays out in the small things happen on a big scale.
Yeah, absolutely adore that.
That feels true to me.
Yeah, no, I completely, I find it quite fascinating how there's so many similarities to what happens at a cellular level,
Yeah.
to the tissue level,
Yes.
and the multicellular organism level.
Yes.
And then very interestingly, what happens in groups of people. So there's almost like you can see these repeated organizations, configurations, setups
Yeah.
happening all the way down. So going back to the above, so below.
Yeah.
It works on so many, like, there's so many components of this where you can see these same things emerging.
So it's a law of nature. It feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one which I think is harder to study in the past because we've been very tunnel focused and siloed. We didn't even have the machinery for it, but it looks like it's something on the horizon to look at the commonalities of how you can predict these configurations.
Yeah.
What happens at a cellular level or even a molecular level, and then tying that up.
Yeah.
Just how it's interesting how cells go about their death process too. So you can have a kind of apoptosis, which is a cell dying or setting up its own packing away dying process, compared to necrosis, which is a cell dying, for example, of an insult or an infection.
Insult.
Yeah, so you could have not having enough oxygen,
Okay.
burning, those kinds of things.
Okay.
So an external thing comes to the cell and necrosis happened. Yeah. So that's dying, but it's of a very different situation to apoptosis, which is kind of degenerating and shutting up shop. And interestingly, when cells have less communication with other cells, they will shut up shop. And there's parallels of that if you then go to the multicellular situation.
Society.
Yeah. So it's interesting how all of these different things.
Yeah. The reason I'm interested in it fitting in is, obviously with what came first kind of thing. But it does feel like, as well as it feeling like machines, technology could be a product of humans, I'm also wondering whether machine technology is just an expression of gene mutation and ideas mutation, and humans, in fact, are. I mean, if we believe in evolution, humans are a product of gene mutation.
Amongst other things, yes.
What other things?
Well, just the stresses of the environment.
Yes.
So you can't just have a bunch of mutations.
No. So the like if it were a different gravity, there would be humans would look different, basically. Yeah.
And so the mutations are hand in hand with the adaptation to the environment that they bring. That's useful. So that's the whole point of evolution. That it's only as you're only as evolved, or you're only as fit as you are suited to the environment, and therefore able to have more progeny, have more offspring, to which also are able to thrive in that environment. So that's the kind of going back to this, as we mentioned before, this idea, evolutionary fitness, the survival of the fittest, is not about are you the strongest, hardest, fastest.
Yeah.
It is how many of your offspring with your genes are in the next generation. That is fitness to the environment.
Yeah. Do you think that's like being cool? To expand that to like attractiveness, fitness?
I mean, there's corollaries there, aren't there?
Yeah. Is that as above, so below example?
Yeah, I think it's
quite hard to prove, but
it's a reasonable one because you're being selected for in that situation. There's selection process going on for more opportunities to reproduce.
It's how fit you are in that environment, or how cool you are.
and the coolness. What is the coolness that's happening?
Yeah.
That life is potentially easier going for you,
Mm.
more enjoyable for you, more connected. So all of those are strong social signals.
Mm.
So yeah, I think you could push that to.
We've gone all over with this.
Yeah, well, it's a big one.
Yeah.
When we started talking about infinity, so of course we're going to go all over.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is. So from the God's perspective as well. So it's what's quite interesting as well, that if you kind of take some of the certain ways of thinking about religious thought, then in certain religious ideologies there is this concept of man being made in God's image to serve.
Mm.
So it's interesting on the other end. So if you can look at it from man's perspective, the machines are made to make life easier.
Mm.
Gods might be, one way of thinking about it is that gods might be created to make man's existence in this infinity easier, to add reason, to add comfort, to add some rationality into a situation where it's very difficult to process the alternative. It's only one process. I'm not saying that's what it is. This is one perspective.
Yeah.
By the same token, is it that within a way of looking at how gods, if you can take the perspective of what gods are, what is it that they need man for? Why have they created man? To serve them, to flatter them, to pray to them, to explore on their behalf?
I just see it as gods, as maybe like an energy is an expansion, and then that humans came from that. And even though, so I don't know if I feel that connected to God or gods being conscious, which is something I want to explore. But it's expansion.
Yeah.
And from that comes gene mutation, entropy, chaos, which creates life, which creates gene mutation, which creates humans, and technology is an expression of that. But that was already baked in. I think that was already baked in at the start.
All the possibilities.
It was all a possibility. It was already baked in over millions of years to happen. Yeah.
And then finally, from the machine's perspective, what are humans and gods from a machine's perspective? Are gods, or is God irrelevant for a machine?
Yeah, anything that doesn't have an emotion doesn't matter in a way to me. Like it doesn't.
To you or to machines?
To me, so like AI doesn't have emotions, so I'm not interested in it in the same way. I don't believe it experiences consciousness, so I'm not interested in the same way. What I do like is in Japan, where they have a machine that's been there for 50 years. I've seen a video where they're kind of bowing to it and sort of thanking it for its service.
Yeah.
So they're putting anthropomorphizing. But we do that anyway, I think, to some extent. Whenever we use something for that amount of time or something in our lives, we do kind of value them, and there are all these connections attached to stuff in our lives that we don't realise. Whether it's a book that I borrowed from someone that I forgot to give back, and so this book has this energy, negative energy, and so I've never read it. There's all these energies,
guilt and shame
there's
about
energy
the borrowing
in objects, but that's because of us. I think because of our mind. But there's no other. It's only experience matters, because the book might not exist without someone witnessing it. I mean, I think that's what quantum science says anyway, but I'm not totally sure.
No, this is quite cool. How, winding this back a bit, how did you phrase it? Anthropomorphizing a machine, or maybe even a book, in the way that we have come about religious thought. Maybe to digest it easier, we've anthropomorphized that, right? Because
Okay.
not everyone has the same version of it.
Yeah.
You can all be part of a Christian church,
Yeah.
but not everyone's definitely thinking of God in the same way. You know, in Hinduism, there's a ton of idols and imagery, but often the way that people are interpreting the concept behind them. Some people
Yeah.
are sticking with, that's a blue person or that's a person with an elephant for a head.
Yeah.
But behind that, there's also a lot of conceptualization of something very abstract,
Yeah.
like Shiva as a destroyer as well as a creator,
Yeah.
a kind of rebirth or a change in entropy
Yeah.
into what is more sustainably possible,
Yeah.
and destroying or allowing the destruction for more. These are very difficult abstract things
Yeah.
to grasp. And so, you know, sometimes the earliest references, because Shiva worship in Hinduism is part of the oldest part of it. And there wasn't a blue person with a snake in the beginning. In the earliest things, it was the lingam,
Yeah.
which is just the symbolization, the phallic symbolization of creation.
But it's anthropomorphizing energies, I think, and we have that with archetypes. You know, like the warrior, the king, the magician,
Yeah.
which I think is a bit of anthropomorphizing of hormones, among other things.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, an easy one might be the warrior is about boundaries, and that's probably some testosterone involved in that. I know this is totally simplifying it,
Yeah.
but we've come to create this image of the warrior, and I think behind that is a rich amount of energies.
We're anthropomorphizing everything,
Everything. Yeah.
including the machines.
Yeah.
So the machines we're starting to see that are grabbing our attention, I'm sure that the ones that are kind of on like conveyor or other types of moving mechanisms are fine. Why do we need to make them bipedal and walk? Like, that's almost inefficient, right? When you can get to scuttle around.
I think it will turn out to be the most efficient, because there's something very efficient. Because if it's doing human jobs, the world is built around us, isn't it? Chairs, tables. So it would be the most appropriate.
But why not
probably?
Why not give it 6 legs and 6 arms like the anthropomorphized deities?
Because the world is okay. It would be kind of fun, but the world's not designed.
Why limit it with 2 arms?
Because it's designed. The world's shaped chairs and everything that we use.
You can still have a robot with 4 arms or 6 arms.
Okay. Okay.
So we're anthropomorphic. It would be able to do more. You've limited your robot to just doing. Yeah. You could. So, if you're watching Elon.
What a 4-armed robot.
Yeah, just look up some Hindu pictures. But we're anthropomorphizing everything.
Yeah.
Now, computers could always churn out what we are now seeing as AI. Artificial intelligence, or to give it the term that was used for the algorithms in the first place, machine learning, has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Even the simple, in the 1990s, when Microsoft Excel putting a line of best fit, that's machine learning in the oldest packages of Excel possible. But there's lots of different mathematical ways of separating this information.
Yeah.
But we've anthropomorphized it by making it talk our languages. Previously, you had to talk a computer's language. Now it's like, no, I don't care. You understand my English, even if it's grammatically incorrect. I want you to talk back at me in the way I'm talking to you. It's the computer could do that before if you spoke to it in C++ or Fortran.
Yeah.
But because we didn't anthropomorphize it. It had its own computer languages. Now AI, as we're calling it now, large language models, are combining everything and anthropomorphizing it by giving it the human language.
We're not just anthropomorphizing it, it's another simulation level down, I think. Because, I'm not saying we're in a simulation, but we are in a way, because we have to collapse reality down into words and ideas. It's a simulation for efficiency. What we see, we simulate to some degree.
We do.
I don't think we're in a computer. We could be, but I don't think we're in a computer. But the next level, all our technology is, in a way, a simulation down, I think.
What do you mean by simulation?
So it feels more secular. Machine learning feels more secular. So it feels like natural world, energies, they come into us, we have gods and archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
Very rich characters.
Mm-hmm. Anthropomorphized characters.
Yeah, to make sense of energies which are flowing, and you can't put them into words completely. They can never be contained. Experience can never be contained completely in words. So we come up with these characters. Then we've created something that's like the next stage down, which is not created by nature. It's created by us, and we are of nature. But it's almost like it's almost like a character.
It's one step removed.
It's one step removed, but it's more secular from any energies. I mean, there's no emotions in them, no driving them, there's forces involved in them.
Now, if you're from the perspective of the machine, doesn't matter if you've got emotion or not.
Well, do you
just
think,
because we value the emotions,
but
it's huge. It's the biggest part of our subjective experience is the emotions we feel.
So, do you think that, like, some religions believe that even rocks have consciousness? Now, I kind of believe that, or like when the Japanese factory is sort of saying goodbye to the 50-year-old machine. I think if people treat it like it has consciousness, it has consciousness, because like we create our reality. So if you believe something has consciousness, it does to me, because everything exists within your belief. But could something like a rock have its own individual consciousness, or a computer or a machine? What are your thoughts on that?
My personal thoughts. So I'm currently leaning towards a kind of panpsychism. It explains how we share ideas. It explains the evolution of thoughts, passing on of memes and technological.
Panpsychism being everything has consciousness.
There is consciousness pervading everything. So it's different to everything has consciousness. It's just consciousness is almost like a fundamental component of existence.
But is that because these are experienced by you or by humans, or because...
I think that packaging into me or humans is something that we do. True panpsychism is that there's just everything's in the flux anyway. For our convenience, we package it into you're sat over there, I'm sat over here, I'm feeling hungry and I will go and eat. But the actual flow of what's around, it's almost like an atomic level or subatomic level. There's just all these processes going on. Consciousness is part of that. Now, the richness of the atomic or the consciousness exchange varies. And like there's much more atomic stuff going on, molecular processes, cellular processes going on in me, there's still atoms and things in rocks, but they're just not getting involved and moving around and doing as much as my heart and lungs are at the moment, or might be arguably my brain.
Yeah, okay.
But there's still something going on there.
Yeah.
It's happening on a slower scale.
Yeah.
And it's persisting for much longer than I will.
Yeah.
But it's still involved.
And it doesn't matter necessarily that it won't be witnessed by humans. That still would happen.
It's still in the flux, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still in the flux of things.
Okay. Yeah.
And my witnessing of something is only my bias because that's the useful filter for this set of atoms and consciousness, which is always in flux anyway.
Do you feel like the consciousness that within you or you is the same as the consciousness in, let's say, a rock on Saturn?
It's all part
of Saturn itself.
It's all part of.
It's all part of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like a node of the same.
Yeah, we're making the boundaries, like I said.
Yeah.
Like if you were to zoom in,
Yeah.
then you just wouldn't be able to tell what the differences are between what's being exchanged between my sofa and the finger at the moment. When you really, really just zoom into pure energetic terms or subatomic terms. And the food we eat, how that changes, how our cells constantly regenerate, constantly turn over. If you were to mark them, there's radioisotope labeling of tissue, where you can, with certain technology, just see how cells are moving and changing and dying. If you were to label everything, you'll see that we're constantly in flux.
Mm.
Just we don't see it that way.
Yeah.
But we're constantly in flux with all the things that we eat, all the things that we change. And, this is also captured by religion, particularly within Hinduism, this idea of the many different people you are, even in this one lifetime.
Mm.
And if you look back through the photos of yourself, what has remained you?
Mm.
Like the shape of you has changed, the size of you has changed, the ideas of you have changed, the interactions that you have, even the interactions on the same day.
Yeah.
I'm going to have very different interactions with you than I do with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Do you think it takes energy to maintain that idea of the self?
Ooh. Good question.
Because we fight for it so much.
Yeah.
We fight for, like, again, in relationships, in work, it's like in politics.
Yeah.
We're always at a fight for our identity. I mean, there's work on the cellular level to just repair stuff.
Yeah.
So there's probably naturally some work.
They need to
Because it feels, to give a different perspective, to go towards enlightenment or mindfulness or enlightenment, it feels like effort to step towards that, when actually that's a more that might be the natural, or what they say is the natural thing, is that everything is happening now and it's in flow, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's the mind that is in the way. So it's just interesting to rephrase it that actually it takes a lot of effort for the body and mind to sustain itself.
But it has its payoff in doing so.
It does.
And that is as a result of the evolutionary processes.
Yeah.
So me personally, I combine all of the things.
Yeah.
I don't think my understanding and integration of religious ideas and spirituality is not at odds with incorporating evolution into that.
Yeah.
I think these are huge processes. And like you say, the anthropomorphizing of these processes is understandable when you're trying to just get to grips with them.
Yeah.
Evolution is a massive and amazing and almost is a worship-worthy force.
Well, a lot of energy goes into that for reproduction purposes, evolution, isn't it? To maintain your identity, your standing in the group. We're always fighting for it. I mean, not always, but like there is a very natural sort of energy to worry about my position in the society.
To compete, to shuffle.
Yeah.
To see how things, because that's how the shuffling happens in evolution.
Yeah.
That's how all the different things are tried.
Yeah.
With a bit of order to it.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's also we also can gravitate to ruminating, to be worrying about stuff. You think about I don't know how many thoughts you have in a day, but most of them you forget and deem not that interesting. It's the ones that like have an emotional value towards that identity, the ones we hold on to and ruminate over.
Yeah.
And it's just an invitation to realise that actually that takes a lot of effort.
It does take a lot of effort. But what is it? Why is it effortful? Why are you constantly putting energy towards it? Because this is an evolutionary pressure again.
Yeah. But we do live on the physical plane, so we have to. Well, you don't have to, but it serves a purpose.
It does serve a purpose. And this is the point. This is where the freedom comes in.
Yeah.
That actually you get to almost choose at which level you're observing the things on.
Yeah. Well, this is the point. It's about the letting go. You're actually doing something. It's the same as that we hold tension in the body without knowing it. We hold the thoughts without knowing the effort.
Yeah. But without knowing the very good. Very good. How much it's costing us.
Yeah. It's just a thought experiment. So and that's why when we let go of ruminating or a problem, we just can't be bothered. We just onto something else, or we just let it go.
The freedom of letting that go.
Yeah.
The energy that it then avails you.
Now, just to jump back, were you saying that when we're thinking about gods to explain things, it's almost like God is a technology?
This is what's cool about this particular mixed.
They all kind of loop into each other.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
So language is a technology.
Yeah, I mean, once you redefine technology, you can use it as a force, a technology, and order.
That really fits into my concept of it like being a simulation drop down, because language is the words for something is not the thing.
It's not the thing.
It's very less. It's like drops it down to a lot less dimensions. And experience is just multidimensional. The feelings, it's always moving. We drop it into words, which is a prison, but sometimes beautiful. Words can be beautiful, but it's a technology,
And as with
simulation.
And as with all these different things, right? Even the human is maybe a technology. The human is a step down. Like you said the word was a prison.
Yeah.
Well, for a period of time, I'm capturing a filter
Yeah.
and imprisoning these thoughts, these feelings, these worries.
It's a simulation. It's
for the purposes. So it's a step down away from the
Well, it has to be
huge oneness.
Well, it has to be, because you can't keep that in a word. But we also couldn't have a simulation. I don't think we could have a simulation of this universe within this universe. It would take all the data of this universe, unless there's some quantum magic happens from somewhere else.
Always quantum magic
But
happens.
can you have I don't think you can have a complete simulation of a universe, this universe, within itself, because it would just take all the data of the universe, all the energy and the data of the universe to create it.
I mean, now we're really stepping out into a size question of things. And the assumption there is that something would have to be big enough to fit something as big enough. But
it does feel true.
It doesn't matter if it feels true. You can just change the question and explore it a different way as you go, because you can always. The thing about infinity is that there is no smallest, there is no largest.
Yeah. But I would say that this feels like
Starting to trip out.
This
now.
as above, so below thing. Because I would say that, to me that rings true, that you can't have one thing within another.
Or you can always
Not
have
in this dimension.
Or you can always have everything within itself, because that's the nature of the
You
possibility.
can if you're the
infinity.
dimension above, I think, like a tesseract or something.
But can you see how the above, the side, the below, the smaller, the bigger, are all relative terms from where you're putting yourself in the infinity?
Yes. Yeah, but in
The
this
actual
dimension,
infinity is just.
in this dimension, in 3 dimensions, yeah.
I hope you're still with us.
Okay.
Do comment, especially if you've vomited at any point during this, 'cause the nausea, the infinity nausea is starting to kick in. It's been a while since I've had infinity nausea, and we had a quite strong cup of coffee.
I think I might have peaked.
But yeah, this is the interesting thing. So there's a phrase that I've been putting to music recently about being both the drop and the sea. And it quite nicely encapsulates where you are from at least how we can appreciate it as humans. They're both very tangible things, and they're both intertwined with each other in that way. The sea is all drops, and the drop is simultaneously both a point at which you can reference yourself within the infinity, but also what makes up the infinity. And where we place the boundaries
So you're saying the sea is in the drop as well as a drop in the sea?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's both simultaneous.
Okay.
And this is why you can, infinity has room for all the dualities of life. That's why you don't need to go too polarized. There's room for both.
Okay. I'm not going to push back on that, because my head's swimming enough. Which probably means it's true. It's like a koan, a Zen koan.
Yeah.
Just like,
You've come to,
okay.
you touch
Go
over
with
the
that,
real substance now. You've broken out of
There's not an answer to it in words. I'm just like, okay.
Exactly. Exactly. But in infinity, there's room for all of the dualities.
Yeah, but can we collapse it down into our dimension?
Yeah, because we have to.
Yeah.
Because that's
Even
where,
talking about it is like,
because in our dimension is where our possibilities for food and reproduction are. From this cell on my hand, the possibilities of cellular regeneration and the blood flow and oxygen coming to it are adjacent to it at the cellular level there. And it's got its own workings, and within the cell, DNA is being unraveled, made and shaped into different proteins. It's doing its own thing at its level of And that's a drop and the sea,
Yeah.
and continually.
Perfect machine.
So this is the point, right? You can just jump in anywhere in the sea and have fun.
Yeah.
And there isn't really a better way of being at any point in the machine or the sea.
Mm.
Just realize that you're lucky enough to be in this infinity.
Go surfing.
And have, yes, great metaphor.
Mm.
So if you manage to stick around to the end of that video, firstly,
Well done.
well done. You've got a strong stomach. It's been a while since I've had infinity nausea, but it's enjoyable. On the end screen next are going to be 2 videos. One's our latest one, and the other one, which builds on this idea, is about going beyond words.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.